morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to look at some new secret rares that are coming around in, well, Super Electric Breaker in Japan, Surging Sparks in the West. And let's just start off with Special Art Rare Pikachu. Remember, they're Special Art Rare in Japan, Special Illustration Rare in the West. This shouldn't be surprising to anyone. I told you all super clearly we were definitely going to be getting a Special Art Rare Pikachu. There was no chance. I mean, it's a Pokemon on the front of the booster pack. And the Pokemon on the front of the booster pack always gets a Special Art Rare. And also, it's Pikachu. Come on, they were never going to leave it out. Of course, we did actually see that the full art of this was revealed alongside the regular. And I actually really like the full art. I think the full art Terra Pokemon look really nice. I'm a big fan. But let's be honest with you. This Special Art Rare is going to be, well, I think a pretty big deal is an understated way to put it. And as a side note, just for me personally, the fact that Ghidorah's done this one, huge fan. Got to meet Ghidorah when I went to Creatures last year for the World Championships. It was awesome. Big fan, ladies and gentlemen. Big fan. And obviously this is going to be like the chase card from Super Electric Breaker. And this goes back to what I was saying about Surging Sparks before. Because of course we already know that we're getting the new Lizia card, the Special Illustration Rare, which is going to be in Surging Sparks. Add it to the Pikachu. Surging Sparks is going to be the biggest set we've had in terms of value and everything else. Is it going to stay that way? No idea. We'll have to wait and see. But all I can tell you is right now this Pikachu is beautiful, and I think an awful lot of people are going to be very, 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 very excited about it. As for the card, I actually think the Pikachu is potentially really, really good. It's got an ability whereby if it's got full HP, and it would be KO'd by damage from an attack, it goes down to 10 HP remaining, it's not KO'd, and then free energy, 300, and you have to discard all the energy from it. But as we've talked about with these Terra Pokemon, there are ways to get the energy back. Huge fan of this Pokemon. It's going to be a very big deal. And I mean, look, I've ordered my boxes of Super Electric Breaker. I ordered boxes of every Japanese set because I collect them. And you'd better believe I'm crossing my fingers for Pikachu. But there is another Special Art Rare EX that we have been shown that we should probably take a little bit of a look at. And it is Milotic. Milotic here, done by Kuroramori, and actually while we're here, the same artist has gone and done the Feebas, and I love, love, love the artwork here. Look, we all know at this stage I am not an art critic and I'm not pretending to be, but even I can notice that Feebas, down in the water, dark picture, sunlight creeping through but looking a little bit sad down there in the depths, and then Milotic bursting out into the sunshine above the water. You know, Feebas has a big glow up, I think is what the kids say, when it turns into Milotic. And oh my word, this is awesome. That might be the oldest I've sounded in a video for a long time. And the Milotic's weird, because it was one of those that was kind of revealed in a press release. And then Pokemon took it back. They kind of tried to unreveal it, which is silly because at that point it's already been revealed. And it's a card I like a lot. Like the attack, free energy, 160 plus sleep is very meh. But the ability says that it takes no damage or affects some attacks of terrestrial Pokemon. And yeah, this seems very, very, very good to me. As I told you when this was initially revealed, it's one of those whereby it's really going to depend on the metagame. If we have a metagame that is super heavy onto Terra Pokemon, it's going to be amazing. But most of the time, it's just going to be a fun tech that will work against some decks, and a lot of decks will have an answer. But once again, we have a pair of illustration rares, artwork rares done by the same artist, and I love when Pokemon do this. I really hope they keep doing it. Sometimes they actually literally connect. Think the Golden Go and Gimmighoul. Other times, it's more like this, where same artist, thematically they fit together, but they don't literally fit together to make one picture. Either way, I love this. I'm a gigantic fan. I don't like it as much as a Pikachu. Obviously, it's not as good as a Pikachu. I don't think anyone's pretending that it is. But this is a stunning piece of artwork, and I've told you guys many, many, many times at this stage, and I stand by this, we are living in a golden age of Pokemon TCG artwork. Just try and enjoy it, because I don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully forever, but we can never be sure it's going to last forever. So, yeah, we need to probably appreciate that. But we do have one more secret rare, one more illustration rare to look at, and it is Mesprit. And it's done by Hayaganosuke. And you know what the only thing better than Mesprit done by Hayaganosuke would be? The entire Lake Trio done by Hayaganosuke. Now this is kind of weird. We've got the regular art of all of them done by Hayaganosuke, and then the Mesprit illustration rare done by the same artist. I will say, as it stands at the moment, we only have Mesprit as an illustration rare. We don't have Uxie or Azalf. That's not to say we're not going to get them, but remember, they went and showed us the Milotic and the Feebas at the same time. When they do the big website reveals, when they show us the illustration rares, they tend to show us the set, if there is a set. I am not saying that we're not getting Uxie and Azalf, but I am saying at this stage I think it's less than 50%. I'm not expecting it. Look, if you're telling me I can have a Uxie and an Azalf illustration rare by Hayaganosuke, and then I've got all three of the regular and all three of the illustration rare, I would be delighted about that. But I do think it's fair to assume that it's not as likely as it might be, and that makes me a little bit sad. What does the Mesprit actually do? Well, we've got two attacks here, and what we've got is single energy, and you get to attach 2 basic psychic energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way that you like. It's fine. The good news here is you're attaching 1 energy to accelerate 2, so you end up on attachments. I am not a fan of attaching 1 energy to accelerate 1 energy. You could have just put that in the other place. Like, why attach the Mesprit to then attach to another Pokemon? Just attach to the other Pokemon. But doing 1 for 2, I can get on board with that. That sounds all right. But we've then got a second attack. 2 psychic energy, 160 damage, but if you don't have a Uxie and an Azalf on the bench, this attack does nothing. And here's the deal, right? 2 energy, basic Pokemon, quite easy to get rolling generally. However, it's not exactly a phenomenal attack. Like 160, you'll get Squawkabilly. Alright? Squawkabilly going down. But that is about it. And I'm not sure if I want to go to all that effort just for a Squawkabilly. Obviously, if you're hitting weakness, you'll go up to 320 and you'll get basically anything, which is nice. And single prize Pokemon will be going down and you're only a single prize Pokemon. And if you want to accelerate psychic energy, we've got Xatu, which still works quite nicely. So we've got plenty of options here. But having to have all 3 of them out just to do an attack, which frankly is not actually that great, it's just all right. I'm not sure I'm a gigantic fan of this, if I'm honest with you. Sorry about that. But don't worry, we've got the other 2 as well. Uxie might be my favourite, single psychic energy, and you put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. That is a decent amount of damage spread around the board. It is damage counters, not damage, so it will go through Manaphy. Although, by the same token, it obviously will not go through Jirachi, because Jirachi stops damage counters. But that's not the point, right? You'll get around Manaphy, which is by far the more widely played of the 2. And essentially, use this for spreading a bunch of damage around while you wait to have your 2 energy on your Mesprit to roll. Not a bad attack. And then we've got Azalf here, 10 damage for 2 energy, plus 10 more for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Well, now we can see how the trio's working quite nicely, because Uxie spreads around a whole bunch of damage, and then you've got your Mesprit, which is decent, just 2 energy, 160, but then you've got Azalf, which just does massive damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Play this with something like Gape Jaw Bog, for instance, whereby when your opponent benches a Pokemon, they take 2 damage counters. That sounds like a fun way to maybe go about trying to play this. Or play it with something like Calamitous Snowy Mountain, so that when your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their basic non-water Pokemon, they take 2 damage counters. Play it with stuff like that while spreading with Uxie. You can potentially get a bunch of damage on the board here, and then from there you can start rolling. I kind of like it. As a whole, I'm giving this all between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. It's a bit awkward, and there's downsides, but I think there is potential here for all 3 of these Pokemon to actually be pretty good. As a side note, if you want to go for Mesprit and you're looking for other Azalf, Uxie, and Mesprit, well, really Azalf and Uxie, well, Azalf, we've got the one from Astral Radiance, single energy, 30 plus confusion, no. And Uxie, we got the one from Astral Radiance, single energy, search your deck for any card, or single energy, 20. These new ones are better, alright? I like them as a trio, and we've got Hyganasuke artwork, and frankly, that makes me happy. Obviously, the big story here is the Pikachu. This Pikachu is going to be a massive card, but 2 new special art rares, 2 new illustration rares, and then discussion of the new Lake Trio as well. I mean, that's not bad for a video, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these new artworks, tell me what you think about these new cards, and of course, tell me how much you like the Pikachu. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Smash Cafe, who seem very lovely and have been supporting us for a while, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.